good, family? Welcome back to another stroll in the neighborhood with your host tonight. I'm Sean Marshall. I'm so excited that you're here with us again. Thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to come hang out with us for a minute. So you already know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ask for you to like it, push that thumb, share, comment, subscribe. Facebook page, YouTube page. Come on, you know what we do, right? Right. So I'm so excited about tonight's episode. I'm just this one is kind of special. It's one that's dear to me because it's a subject that's very important but rarely talked about. So tonight, please help me welcome my special guest, a friend, Mr. SaJade Miller.
Hey. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here tonight.
Thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule. I know you are super busy. So I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being here.
Honored to
Thank
be
you.
here. What an incredible intro, right? And thank you, thank you for considering little old me for your podcast.
Hey, I was like, I need a big topic. I was like, the educator of educators, the superintendents of superintendents. Like I was gonna do all that.
Yeah, we got to find
Um,
him.
but we do, don't
Okay, thank you.
But before we get into this, please tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are for those that don't know you. And you should, but if you don't, please let us know who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so my name is SaJade Miller. First and foremost, I am Jackson and Mason's dad and Amber's husband, right? That is
Yeah,
sacred, and that is my legacy. No matter what I do in the ed space or in the tech
yeah,
space or business,
I
my
love it.
biggest mark on the world is going to be to raise the two black men that are here and the one little black boy that's on the way. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, it will be three boys in December, and so super excited about that. That is my primary ministry, that household, right? And so,
Awesome.
aside from that, through the support and dedication, devotion of my loving spouse and life partner Amber, I'm also able to travel around the nation and support leaders in all matters, whether that be DE&I, whether that be executive coaching and support, systemic design, strategic planning, etc. But my day job, the one that makes sure that everyone eats, is I am the proud superintendent of Rocketship, Texas, a nonprofit charter school, public tuition free, that is going to be opening in Tarrant County in 2022. So
Yes.
excited about that. Fort Worth guy, around the way guy. I'm super thrilled to come back to the community. That really is the foundation of who I am as a man and as a leader. So honored
Yes.
to be back in the community.
Man, that's so amazing. I don't even have any kids in school, but I'm excited that it's coming. It's well overdue, as I'm sure you know that. So I'm excited, for it to be popping off like this. This is amazing. And what better person to be spearheading it? I
Thank
know
you.
you from the great, well, I don't want to really say great because really the great is OD Wyatt, but the second great is Paul Lawrence Dunbar, where you were the principal there. And I actually met you through both of my kids attending that high school. My daughter was dancing at the time, and my son was in band. And you were just very welcoming to parents who were kind of in the special group where we had the transfers and fine art students and all of that. And you were just amazing principal. I watched you from afar, interacting with the students and parents and, faculty and all that. And it was just amazing. Just kind of made me love Dunbar a little bit more,
Thank you.
just a
I
little.
appreciate it. It is a special place, and if it weren't for ODY, I was assistant principal at ODY. That's my first. That's where I cut my teeth in education leadership, and so it's okay. It holds a second place in my heart. But I'm
Kind
glad
of
you got
is.
wise and you send your kids to Dunbar. It is a special place.
Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. So how long have you been in education?
Yeah, since 2006. I started my career in Fort Worth ISD in 2006, right? So I was fortunate to, I stumbled into education, right? Like most things in life, when God has His plan for you, even though you're planning, I was going, biochemistry. I want to get into medicine. I wanted to go to med school. Then I thought about pharmaceutical sales, and I
Mhm.
had the opportunity to work as a tutor just for extra income. And as I was working as a tutor in 2006, someone saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. Right, a messenger
Mm.
came to me and said, "You're supposed to do this," and that was Dr. Cherie Washington, who now still serves as chief school officer or chief of schools in Fort Worth ISD. And so she planted a seed in my life, and she actually supported and gave me my first job and told me I needed to take this. And with she and my mother, who also worked in the school system, but she was a school initiatives officer. And so I would go visit her and have lunch with her while I was, home from college, and I would, be at the schools. And so through those interactions, I ended up being a science teacher. And then from there, I've very, very honored to have some giants in the city. Walter Dansby, Melody Johnson, Dennis Duncan, Dr. Cherie Washington, Lewis Washington, just to name a few. But there have been so many giants in education that really make they're giants in our community. And
Yes.
they're giants in education nationally, and they really spoke life into who I am as an educator. And so from that, I was a teacher, as I said, assistant principal at DY, middle school principal, high school principal, my favorite job at Dunbar, and then I eventually became assistant superintendent. So I've been in it since 2006.
That's good. Yeah, those are some giants. Mr. Dansby was actually my principal as I attended Wyatt some time ago.
Okay.
We won't put numbers out there, but we
Yeah.
know.
That was, well, I remember exactly when he was there, so I can put some numbers out there.
Okay, just don't say it.
No, I won't do that.
And then Mr. Duncan's, yeah, I think we worked together a little while in my time with Forward ISD in the administration building. So yeah, those are pretty important people.
Yeah,
Um,
and
so
Mr. Dansby actually serves on the board of Rocketship, Texas. So the work and the partnership did not, but he's a key board member for what we're doing in the community.
yeah, he does great work in the community, and his heart is so big and it's so for the people, and we need that. So I'm sure he sends his blessings to you, and he knows that you're going to do well. Have you already kind of run into any obstacles?
So obstacles, as if we're talking about education as a whole, right? There are some pretty profound obstacles, right? The first obstacle being that the foundation of the education school system in America was not designed for people of color and linguistically and culturally diverse students, right? And so it
Mhm.
was, one size fits all. Teacher deliver the information, you get it, regurgitate, rote memorization, etc. And so through brain learning and other evolutions and best practices in education, we become more sophisticated in our ability to teach
Mhm.
all
Mhm.
students. But I think there is a big gap in systemic preparation of educators and policies and practices and curriculum that are reflective of the rich cultural capital that we as people of color possess. And unless we are able to ensure that our systems, our people, our processes, our policies are diverse and representative of the students we seek to serve, then there's going to be a natural um, gap in learning for our
Mhm.
children, unfortunately. And even beyond that, there are other sort of minor issues, but I think systems are perfectly designed to get the results they're getting, right? And so if you want to
Yeah.
change the results, change the system, right? That's Denning's quote. So that's
Yeah.
one big challenge that I've seen. And being an advocate, right? Talking about Dunbar, at Dunbar, my role was the chief advocate
Mhm.
for Dunbar High School, right? So I spent so much of my time doing external work that
Yeah.
unless we had solid systems, then students would have suffered academically. And so what we had to do is with I had a phenomenal dream team. Is we had to figure out how do we advocate? How do we? You'll recall like we completely redid the aesthetics of the building, right? Students can't
Mhm.
walk into a rundown building and expect them to learn. Students also can't walk into a building if they're hungry and learn. Students can't walk into the building if they don't feel seen, heard, safe, and valued. And so really looking at, psychology 101, looking at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Starting dads of Dunbar, making sure we did transformation day with Fidelity Investment, partnering with Amy Witherwright at Eberseed and Witherwright at the time to give out scholarships, right? So we had to create an environment and create the conditions that were conducive to learning. And then we had to support students throughout the journey. And people talk about, and just let me, I can talk about this. So let me know when you want me to be quiet. But people often talk about parent engagement and other things and these other external factors. I don't know a parent who doesn't want the best for their child. All right. So let me say
Absolutely.
that. I am
Absolutely.
not in the business of blaming parents and pointing fingers at parents. Well, if they were getting, yeah, well, everybody's doing the best they can, right? And so,
Hmm.
as
Hmm.
professionals, the parents not getting paid to educate their kids, and
That's
we
right.
can't impose our values on the parents. But what we can do is when they send us their best, it is our responsibility to figure out what is the way, what's the methodology, what's the method of communication
Hmm.
that is going to
Hmm.
penetrate that student. And by investing in students, we change families. By changing families, we change communities. So the work at
Hmm.
Dunbar was hard work. The work that
Yeah.
I'm doing now with Rocketship back in the community is hard work.
Yeah.
you know how do we leverage our rich cultural capital, black, brown, white, high achieving, underachieving, to ensure that we have a robust academic experience that partners with parents as co-educators, doesn't
Hmm.
blame them, doesn't try to fix parents, doesn't try to fix community,
Right.
but let's partner with them. Let's harness
Hmm.
their rich cultural capital. Let's ensure that's representative in our schools, in our products, in our tasks, and in our interactions with them. And then let's do great things for kids.
Yeah. Because we would hope that the understanding would be that, parents really only do what they know to do. And when you have parents who had parents who had parents that only knew certain things and only, were privy to certain information and stuff, well, then that's only passed down. And so I like that you said you don't blame them, because a lot of educators, I'll say, blame parents for certain discipline styles or discipline or the lack of thereof, and they blame them. But when sometimes some parents only can do what they know to do. Um, so with that, the work that you're doing and you're creating with Rocketship, how do you feel? And I know you've kind of touched on that a little bit. How do you think that it will affect the community, or and the culture too, but more so the community?
Yeah, I think it's going to be transformative in many ways, right? So it's going to affect the community in that there are options. When you give people options and you eliminate barriers to options, their efficacy, their commitment, and their buy-in drastically increases, right? And so
Mhm.
and let me just say this. I think it's very important to say this. There are 6 elementary schools in the Stop Six Eastwood, sort of southeast sector of the community. Those individuals are hardworking people. I know them. I love them, and I hope they know that I am rooting for them as well, because they are in the trenches. And I've been there as a person who led that pyramid for several years. I've worked side by side with them, blood, sweat, and tears. So I want to honor their work. And I also want to be additive to the education ecosystem. I am not trying to create a parallel system. I am not trying to compete with Fort Worth ISD. I am not trying to put anybody out of business or close any schools. But what I am trying to do is ensure that the same privilege that those with means get to enjoy as it relates to shopping for options that are the best fit for their kids, our community in Southeast deserve those options too. And no matter what you
Absolutely.
say, no matter how much perfume you put on the pig, no matter how much marketing you do, a system is a system is a system, right?
Yes,
And
sir.
we deserve true options that are high performing, that are independent and not dependent upon how much money you make, right? Because I can tell you one thing: when it comes to Jackson and Mason, those are my two, right? I take the cloak of professionalism, set it to the
Yes.
side, and I
Uh-huh.
unapologetically, consistently, and unabashedly advocate for what's best for my kids.
That's
And
right.
I use every ounce of privilege that I have and power I have to make sure they have the best education
Hmm.
with the best
Hmm.
teachers, and I don't feel no kind of way about it. And so, so
Absolutely.
why shouldn't we? Because it goes back to what I said when we opened. My biggest impact on the world is me creating 3 young men who can pick up the torch wherever daddy and mommy leave off and
Hmm.
run that race further than we ever could have imagined.
That's
So
right.
we need that in this community. And I think that'll be transformative in nature. And not only just the option in and of itself is transformative, right? But then
Hmm.
you take, it's not build it, they'll come, right? It is, let's
Right.
eliminate barriers to access, right? And so another way that some institutions cherry pick who's where and is the limiting information, right? And so like, who are you partnering with? Well, we got these programs, but they're not filled up. We have these programs, but in this community, but they're filled with people outside the community who may or may not necessarily look like us. Well, why is that? Where are we marketing? How are we providing access to the options? Are we providing transportation? Is the transportation reasonable, or does a student have to travel a whole hour to get to school? Do we require parents to fill out surveys or other means? Like, how are we really making the options available, right? And I'm not critiquing any system. I know that Fourth ISD actually does a phenomenal job of trying to promote their programs of choice, and there are options within that system. I think by creating another option, we actually just add to the richness of the availability of elementary schools in Tarrant County. And I think secondly, or thirdly, we're not going beyond 5. The vision is to facilitate an innovative infusion into the Southeast community. Students come to our schools, parents engage with the model built on 3 pillars: parent power, teacher development, and personalized learning. They leave our schools performing from that same community at the top of their class. They go to J. Martin Jack K, or they go to G. McClung, or they go to Uplift, or they go to Idea. They go to whatever is best for that kid, and they are performing from our community at the highest levels. We're not a system for the highest performing students, and we're not a system that also only focuses on the low performing students. We are a system, and I hope to create a school network and a school in Southeast Tarrant County next year that focuses on making sure that every single student has a personalized learning plan. Every single student knows what he or she needs to be successful, how they learn, and we customize an approach to instructional delivery in partnership with parents that really speaks to the needs of the students. I mean, I can go on and on and on about what that looks like. Every student has a home visit, but that's the gist of it.
And it's so important because I think, and I'm no teacher, but I just feel that it's important for every, not just child, but children become adults, they become young adults, they become adults. And I think that it's very important at that age for them to know that it's okay if you learn differently from other students. It's okay if you get it faster, or you may take a little time to get it. You're no different from nobody else. You just have a different way of achieving the goal. And I love that you're saying that you have that interactions, that it's kind of tailor made for this student and for this parent. I think that is so important, to let that be kind of the foundation of what you're kind of bringing to the community. Are there any other solutions that you think you may come up with, or you would like to incorporate, as your whole program is rolling out for the school year?
Yeah, so one thing is parent power. So talking about parent power, one thing that's I think unique is that and Pastor Sample, Bishop Sample, at Holy Tabernacle, told me when I first became principal at Dunbar High. Yeah, it's your home church. Okay.
I grew up there.
Yeah. Yeah, phenomenal giant in the community. He told me when I became principal at Dunbar High School, which is in his backyard, you got to be careful telling people what they ought to do until you show them and provide opportunities for them to do it. And so he was telling me, let's check our own privilege. Even if you're from the community, sometimes we forget. And so I think to that, the solution is, we talk about parent power. Like, even right now, there is a parent organizing committee, right? And the work of the parent organizing committee, that is mighty. It led to over 60 individuals going to the state capitol to advocate for Rocketship's approval for this charter, which I know we talked about challenges. I didn't want to get into that, but there's also some macro politics associated with charter and some perceptions there, which we can always go back to. But I think the point is, our goal, our efforts are not only to say, hey, here's an option, bring your kids here, and like, hey, we'd like you to come to this meeting or that meeting. But it's like, hey, here are some resources. We're going to do an event fair. We're going to do a provider fair, right? So, for example, we did rental assistance. We had one individual who was able to get rental assistance for 12 months, who was suffering, about to be homeless, had children. And so we want to connect parents with resources. We want to create a parent organizing committee. We have that, where they strategically identify areas for advocacy within their community, right? And so I had a conversation today with one of my team members that lead this work. Like, how can we elevate parent voice? How can we enhance parents' ability to advocate? And then lastly, how can we ensure parent representation? Because if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So our parents, we
Oh,
invest in our
that's
parents
simple.
just as much as we invest in our students. And we want to
Mhm.
support parents with getting on the various advisory councils, commissions, and boards in this city. So that if there's a for example, an intersection, and I won't call out the intersection,
Mhm.
that one of our council members has been working to get fixed, and we need a light, we need traffic control, and I think we can support our elected officials who are doing all that they can do if we stand up and we represent, right? If we put the applications in to join various city committees and councils and commissions, and then we are
Mhm.
there as a voice to provide our local elected officials cover. Because just like we can't blame the parents
That's right.
for what we think, we can't blame that one or two people in office that we elect
That's right.
to represent us, and then we leave them to their own devices without any support. We have to continue to lean in and give them cover as well. So Rocketship seeks to harness parent power by creating collective efficacy within our communities so that, yes, of course, they want to identify education related priorities,
Mhm.
go to meetings, go to council, speak truth to power, come to me. Every Rocketship parent will have my personal cell phone number, along with the campus principal, the director of schools, and my other staff. And so not only are we want to make sure that they are able to advocate for school-based matters, but for their community, because again, it goes back to Maslow's hierarchy of need. We can have the best education system, but if we aren't investing in the totality of the student's lived experience by supporting parents, it's for naught, because they leave our buildings and they go back into the communities where, again, parents and community members are doing the best they can, but with limited infrastructure and resources. So we want to be a holistic solution and truly enhance the community with advocacy support, resource delivery and connection, and together let's elevate the game for everybody. And that's what I mean by
Everybody.
innovative infusion. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it for everybody. If I were a parent, I would be probably camping out at the building with my tent and my juice boxes ready to sign and enroll my kids up for this program. It's
The demand
amazing.
has been fierce. I think and I don't want parents camping out, but we do have limited seating, right? And there's no disqualifier. We're not looking at discipline. We're not looking, we're not profiling our kids. We want every single student to apply, but unfortunately we
Everybody.
we will be limited to 400 or so seats. So definitely they should definitely get their application in.
Yeah. So tell, can you have any information where they can enroll, websites, how they
Yeah,
can get information to enroll in your school?
Yeah, so there are three main ways, right? The official application does not open until October the 1st, or the first Monday in October. And then
Mhm.
we'll begin to formally accept applications. Prior to that, we host a myriad of community events. The biggest thing is to just, if you follow us on social media, that just tells you where we're going to be. Actually, I have a team that is at the YMCA back to school rally tonight. We were at all the local community centers this weekend. And so if you follow us on social media, Rocketship Texas, that will give you the rundown of everything. There's also a parent interest form on
Mhm.
our social media accounts, on our website at Rocketship Public Schools.org. I'm sorry, rocketshipschools.org/Fort Worth. There's also information that's there for parents and that's where our application will be housed. And then also give us a call. Give us a call. You can call me directly, and I can refer you to the staff member. 817-937-1677. That's the same number my wife and my kids have. And I want to partner. Tell me your questions. I want to hear you. I may not necessarily be able to get to you that day, but I
Mhm.
want to get to connect to you as soon as I can, or have a member of my staff connect with you.
Yeah, I say to this is a blessing to all parents, families. Um, y'all don't miss this. This is goodness served on a platter, and we should take advantage of this opportunity, this amazing partnership, this school, these brilliant, brilliant, amazing people that are a team now that's going to bring, I think, a great change in this community. I want to applaud you for this work, man. I'm excited. I can't wait. I hope that um, God continues to bless this endeavor. I hope it gets big, like super big, super huge. and y'all just keep
I,
going. If
I
there's ever
appreciate it.
anything we can do for y'all, reach out. Right.
I think this is it. I think knowledge is power. You know,
Yes, sir.
and
I believe it.
there's a scripture that says our people will perish for lack of knowledge, right? Or lack of, you know,
Absolutely.
so we need to make sure that we are, I think you're doing it. Spread the word, hold us accountable too, right? It's
Yes,
not
sir.
always going to be roses and rainbows, and we're constantly improving. You know, even as
Yes.
principal at Dunbar, I was a different principal year one as I was when I walked out that thing because I
Right.
got better
Absolutely.
as a
Yep.
result of the feedback. And so
Mm-hmm.
we're not going to be perfect, but I can guarantee you one thing. Everything we do will be with Jackson and Mason. I can
Mm-hmm.
tell you the names: Bryson, Gigi, TJ. Those are my immediate staff members. Chrisette, Malachi, the principal's children. So we are bonding as a team, and every single decision we make will be with
Mm-hmm.
our own children, who, by the way, will be attending if they are
Mm-hmm.
accepted in, if they get a seat in our schools. And so let us know, keep us informed, and I want this to be a two-way conversation. If there's an event, if there's a need, if there's an inquiry, please reach out to us. Reach out to me. Hit us up on Facebook or social media. We want to be there. We want to be a fixture in this community, and we want to continue to serve. It's what it's really about for us: service.
Yeah, you guys, please don't forget to follow this amazing, amazing endeavor. Listen, I promise, I can tell just without even having any kids enrolled, it's going to be amazing. And I promise I'm for sure you won't be disappointed. You won't be. So follow this. Rocketship Texas is going to be amazing. I
And
promise. I
we'll,
know it is.
and we'll be building a team. We have our principal. We have my direct team, but we'll be needing the teachers, and we're looking for the best. And I believe that the heartbeat of every organization that's people focused is
Yes,
centered
sir.
around the especially education systems is centered around the teacher.
Yes,
That's the
sir.
single most important predictor of student success. And so we are looking for only the best. And we're going to be we are extremely competitive with regards to compensation. So tell your people who are in the industry, who are looking, if they have experience, if they're recent college graduates, tell them also to reach out to us. We are actively recruiting and seeking qualified candidates, to only the best though,
Mm-hmm.
to help us partner and invest in this community as well, our community.
Yeah, we'll definitely be spreading the word. So we'll make sure that all of the handles, all of the social media handles are posted in the bio or the link, the below, the caption, the inside, the outside, everywhere. We want to make sure that we get this out. This is our school as well. This is our
That's
project
right.
as well. It's not just yours. It's not
That's
just
right.
your team. It's ours as a community. It's our responsibility as well to help push this, and that's what we're gonna do. That we're gonna do it. We're gonna make sure we do it. So before we get out of here, I do have one more question for you. It's a question we love to ask our guests. So
Sure.
if we were going to the corner store, the real one, the one that's at the bottom, where things don't quite operate right, real
Right, right.
what are you going to purchase?
Now we talked about school and the kids. We talked about God. We quoted some
Mhm.
scripture, so I can't tell you necessarily what I might purchase.
Okay,
But
well, send us the other stuff. Just tell us a few things.
okay, I'll tell you. If I won't tell you everything, no, no, no.
All right.
But I would definitely purchase. I know. Nowadays, even my kids correct me. We used to call them now laters.
Uh-huh. One word.
Now,
One word.
my kids quick to tell me, Daddy, those are now and laters, and these are the now laters that had the clear. You can only get these in the grocery in the corner stores in our
Mhm.
community, not the ones that come in the wrapper that matches the outside wrapper. I'm not talking
Yeah.
about that. I'm talking the
No, no,
ones
no,
that
no,
have
no,
that
no.
white parchment paper wrapping
Yes,
them up,
sir. Yes, sir.
and that some people call it grape. I call it purple. So I'll get some
Yeah.
purple now
See?
laters, and I
Yes.
would get some cherry and some watermelon. I might get all of them, everything except banana. I don't do banana, but my wife won't let me come back without the banana, so I'll probably get one of each. And the little
Mm-hmm.
bitty ones, the 25-cent ones, I would definitely get those.
Yes, sir.
Um, that's pretty much what I would go in there for, in addition to the things that I can't share with y'all. But
Uh-huh.
now, now
Uh-huh.
later.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I, see, thank you for making the difference the difference between now laters, which is just one word,
That's
then
it.
now and laters. With
That's right.
the paper, y'all know this, y'all know that wax paper that they cut, my dear cut out there and then fit that nail later on there and it's melted. And so when you peel that paper off, you still got half the nail later on, you try to scrape all of it. See, that's the one we need.
That
We
one.
need those to come back.
Yeah. I mean,
Because
it's probably not the best for our dental health,
it's
but
not,
it sure did taste good.
man, it was the best ever. The best ever. Well, Mr. Miller, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
I know you got to get to it. You are super busy, so we definitely appreciate your time with us, and we are going to support you.
Thank
Just
you so
know
much.
that you have the support of the community. We're going to get it out there as much as we possibly can because we are standing with you. So we
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
you. Thank you
I
for all
appreciate
that you
you.
do.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
sir.
Nice to be here.
All righty. Have a good one. Thank you so
Okay, you
much for
too.
joining us.
Thank you, guys.
So that was our show for the evening. Thank you so much for being with us. Again, you know what I'm going to ask. If you like and comment and subscribe, and make sure you come back and hang out with us again. Until then, we'll see you around the neighborhood.